Hello, everyone, and thank you all for joining us during the Lytham Partners Spring 2024 Investor Conference. My name is Adam Lowensteiner, Vice President of Lytham Partners. Before we begin, for those not familiar, Lytham Partners is one of the country's leading investor relations firms. With more than 2 decades of corporate access experience, we have built one of the industry's most diverse and effective platforms for connecting small-cap companies with high-quality and focused institutional investors, while creating a framework of best practices in all aspects of investor relations. Today's discussion is hopefully yet another example where we can bring value to multiple constituents. Our next fireside chat is with GSE Systems, ticker symbol of GVP, that is George Victor Paul on NASDAQ. Presenting from the company today is its President and Chief Executive Officer, Ravi Khanna, and Emmett Pepe, GSE's Chief Financial Officer. Today, Ravi, Emmett, and I will engage in a fireside chat-like Q&A session. We will dive into the discussion in a moment, but one final item, I want to remind everyone that GSE is available for one-on-one meetings. If you've not already signed up, please send me an email, lowensteiner@lythampartners.com, or visit lythampartners.com/spring2024. That's 2024. From there, you can click on the investor registration button and make your one-on-one selections. With that said, let me now turn today's discussion over to Ravi Khanna, President and CEO of GSE Systems, and Emmett Pepe, CFO of GSE. Hi, Ravi and Emmett, and welcome to the discussion.
Thank you, Adam. Happy to be here.
Great. Let's expand on a few topics. Maybe to kick things off, Ravi, you've recently been appointed President and CEO. Can you tell us a little about yourself, your background, how you got involved in GSE?
Sure, thank you. And yes, excited about the new appointment. A lot of support from customers, colleagues, and friends, so I appreciate everything. I was a chemical engineer by trade. I went to University of Maryland. I did a master's in computer science. I've always spent my time in engineering and software, but then did a good part of my career working on big, major, complicated defense projects, spent time in management consulting. So it was fascinating when I got approached to join GSE, and really the backdrop of it was modernizing the way we deliver, bringing in engineering technology services provider up to the current state of the industry, and that was a perfect fit, I thought. Been through the ranks, boots on the ground with the company, growing the team, and I was grateful for this appointment to be in a place where I'm working with our customers and all of our great team members at GSE. So in fact, I'd like to even get Emmett's weigh in. We both joined around the same time, and I think we've worked together for several years now.
Yes, look, there's a bit of a reintroduction. I'm Emmett Pepe, I'm the CFO of GSE. I've been working side by side with Ravi for the past 8 years, and I think while we're positioned working with Kyle to get us to this point, I think Ravi is bringing vision, energy, and new excitement to take us forward. So I think the future is bright for us, and I think with Ravi in the role, working with the extended SLT team, I think the future is definitely bright for GSE.
So for some of the people who may not be aware of GSE, what does GSE do, and what markets does the company serve?
That's a great question, and that answer definitely has been enhanced over time. So our core of the business has primarily been in high-fidelity power plant simulation. I mean, this company goes back to the days of Singerlink from the 1950s. But I think there was if you look at our timeline on our investor deck, we've gone through a very strategic, significant expansion through acquisition primarily. We now serve most of the nuclear market, but everything from simulation or training, design engineering, to design engineering itself. We have an entire design engineering group, programs and performance, and these are the kind of in-service tests and inspection type of services, plant life optimization, life extension. So these things are our forefront right now in the industry, as we've probably seen. And then the other side of the business is really around workforce, staff, and consulting. So this is everything from senior reactor operator training. It's a great way to get folks that are retiring from the industry, that have plant-specific knowledge, back in to train really the next generation, or to serve as a staff augmentation for surge demand. everything from that to type of blue collar work to support the industry.
So the nuclear industry is undergoing a new renaissance of sorts. Why is that the case?
This is fascinating at this time. I think in our past 10 to 15 years, we've seen a surge of technologies that are very energy demanding. Electric vehicles, handheld devices, power efficient homes, a lot of things, including big data centers that require a lot of power. So the big thing is demand for power is exponentially larger than it was 10 to 15 years ago. I think the data point on the earnings call we just did that came from McKinsey report that we highlighted was that 5 years ago, the demand for a new power generation facility was like for a data center, for example, 30 megawatts. The demand for those data centers now is 60 to 90, so 3x factor, and that is only going to grow. Artificial intelligence, everything from chat GPT, training sessions for learning platforms, these take an exorbitant amount of power, and so you need to have a stable power source to power that technology and the further enhancement development of those technologies.
So a major trend along those lines that is starting to play out in the nuclear industry is operators are seeking license renewals, which is a big change from a few years ago when many were thinking about decommissioning nuclear sites. What has changed, and how does this bode well for GSE that the industry offers?
That's a great question, Adam. A couple of things come to mind. One is that there is a big political push globally for decarbonization, and that continues to surge, and that's front and center right now. That's a big platform, if you will, in global politics. The other thing is that the emotion's been taken out, and people have done the math. To produce power, nuclear is the only option, right? So decommissioning of sites, that was a topic or a term I heard 10 years ago when I was getting familiar with the industry. I do not hear that term now. It is very much about license renewal, plant life extension. So not just the investment that's going into nuclear, but if we take a step back and see how our customers are actually spending their money, what projects are actually putting forth, these are mostly around plant optimization, plant life extension. So we're seeing 60, 80, 100-year license renewal type of activities taking place because of that energy demand. And nuclear really is the only option to meet the demand and to meet decarbonization goals. You're producing steam versus carbon dioxide. It's a no-brainer for any industry.
So that the license renewals is the current opportunity now, but SMRs, also known as small modular reactors, they are the next generation of nuclear reactors to be built. Can you briefly comment on opportunities there for GSE? It seems like the company is well positioned to capitalize on SMRs when they come about. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's interesting. We have a very deep history with, I'll say SMR, small modular reactor, but also advanced reactor types. So everything from pebble bed modular reactors. We've done a lot of work with NuScale. And this all stems from, in supporting technology that we have at GSE that was primarily used for simulation and training, using that for human factors to design the control systems, and then powering those human factors developed control systems with high fidelity simulation. I think what we've seen is that customers have found that, AP1000 is a great example where the technology has helped advance the design. So, I did mention this on the earnings call, but we have a major announcement coming soon for an SMR provider in the United Kingdom. Again, using GSE technology to, in addition to human factors and simulation and training, it's really going to help advance the design. So we've been doing this for years. It's really taking a step back and seeing how customers are using the software. When you have a very high output asset that can simulate everything from the nominal steady state to the different power scenarios and do it with real physics, you take advantage of that, right? Use it to advance the design, consider different control systems, anything to optimize the way a plant works. And we're seeing customers have success using our technology to do that. So I do think we're very well positioned.
Who are some of your customers, and can you share some real-life applications of your software technologies?
Sure. Without naming specific customers, I'd say that we have had worldwide close to 200 installs of nuclear power plant simulators over the past 15 to 20 years. Most of our work, I'd say, it's evenly split across North America. We have a good presence in Asia and obviously Eastern Europe. A lot of the work stems from our power plant simulation and training, but in addition to that, our program and performance technology pieces, EP Plus Engage, those technologies and software that support a lot of the in-service test and inspection work globally. I'd say we have presence very much in the US and abroad, specifically Asia and again, Eastern Europe.
How proprietary are your technologies? And you discussed, how reliant customers have become on your software services.
We have a few. So this is, I think, part of the uniqueness of GSE. In addition to being boots on the ground, sleeves rolled up engineers, we have a very competitive and unique software suite. So first, we have the Jade software suite. This is the simulation platform. It's the engine and all the tools needed to develop high fidelity, steady state, fluid, gas flow, everything that is required to build a power plant on a screen. Everything from that to taking very high-grade engineering codes for thermal hydraulics, severe accident modeling, like MAP, for example, and fit them in to our software so they can be repeatable, reliable, and be used for training and engineering services. That's our Jade platform. We also have an EP Plus Engage piece of software that's used primarily in our programs division. Again, that's for supporting a lot of the calculations, data storage, and compute required for evaluating plant performance and everything from life extension inspection to thermal systems optimization. And finally, the exciting space is TSM, right? Thermal systems management. This is a piece of software that very web-based, again, unique to GSE in that I think when we take a step back as engineers and see the players in the industry getting away from monolithic platforms to agile, web-based, intuitive, easy-to-use tools. So high output, low learning curve tools that allow engineers to use our systems to quickly derive value, drive efficiencies in their power plant operations. Very unique in my mind.
What's the selling cycle like for your services? What's the sales team look like? How do you find new customers, or do they find you?
It is all of the above. We're very lucky again. Our sales force is comprised mostly of people that are not salespeople. They are people that have been inside the utilities, inside engineering services providers. They feel the pain. They've been on both sides of this. And these are folks that are driving value. They want to lower risk for our customers. They want to reduce their costs. They understand the budget cycle. So, we do have an aggressive sales force that is always out there pushing and trying to get our message out of what we can do for the industry. The other aspect, again, me being on the inside, is when we're delivering projects, there is always opportunity to improve the way we're delivering, improve what we're delivering. Requirements change over time. And that is something very dear to me, that we have an engineering workforce that listens to the customer. They understand what they're trying to accomplish, the larger goal, right? This digital mod is not just because it's shiny and new, it's actually going to improve the plant performance, generate more megawatts, and potentially extend the life of the plant. And they will always find ways to see how they can help that customer accomplish that goal. So it is a very top-down, bottom-up, all hands-on-deck approach. And that is, I think, what an efficiency that we bring to the market. Again, this is what I see as a modern engineering, technology, and engineering services firm helping the industry.
During the past couple of years, the company has done an excellent job in right-sizing the business, removing a lot of excess expenses. And as a result, the business has stabilized. Are there more costs to remove or more efficiencies to be had?
That's a great question. I'll start it by first saying that when I joined, a very big part of my effort was to improve the way we deliver, right? Even everything from the way we collect requirements, get plan information, drive value to the customer, work closely with them. I find that the more time we spend with them, the more cost efficient the deliverable is for the customer, and the more cost savings we have internally. And I think also in the background, just getting our company to work together as one team, there are some definite efficiencies that come from that. And actually, Emmett, I'd be curious of your perspective navigating that over the years.
We got rid of excess costs, right? So I think now the opportunity is to continue to refine and get leaner and move forward. On working together, we went through the acquisition phase. We had a lot of different companies, disparate systems, and it finally all came together during 2023. We're consolidated on one platform, and that, that's an ongoing process to continue to rationalize processes that relate to that system consolidation, aligning our entities together, and we've reached some efficiencies. I think there's so many more efficiencies going forward that I think are also going to cascade back to the business with better reporting, more timely reporting to help make strategic decisions that will ultimately improve the bottom line. The other data point on there from an ongoing perspective is, I think it's been noticeable, and we talked about it on the call, that our billability and utilization efforts to increase gross profit margins has gone a long way toward helping our bottom line. And we're going to continue to monitor that and keep that very tight going forward. So as revenue does grow, it'll throw off even more bottom line benefit. But as it stands, I think revenue as of today, we're going to be focused on profitability regardless of the revenue size. And as revenue grows, we'll be more profitable.
So revenues have been range bound. What is going to change that? How does the company get to the next level? And how should investors think about growth?
Yeah, being very transparent. Doing a major life extension project for a power plant takes a lot of planning, budget cycling, and these are multi-year, multi-decade type of investments. And we cannot control that, right? We cannot control when projects get awarded, when RFPs go out. But what we can control are the ways we provide unique value. So I'd say that yes, even if revenue has been around the same level, obviously improving the margins, going after higher margin business, software license maintenance, those things are crucial to the business for revenue growth. We continue to grow our presence working with our government contracts. That's additional people. Additional people means additional license seats. Additional license seats mean additional license maintenance. It gives a pathway to enhance our tools and improve our margins as well. And Emmett, I don't know if you want to talk additionally about any sort of cost management to work through that revenue, but please.
I think on the cost management on the revenue is really, I think, driving those projects as they come on board is really making sure the right budgets are set and that the revenue is recognized as timely and quickly as possible, particularly on some projects that are not T&M. Obviously, T&M gets recognized as it goes. But so I think part of the tools that we're using and the new process changes is to enhance our crispness on reporting that revenue. As it grows, it's getting to the bottom line quickly.
Can you discuss some financial highlights investors should be on the lookout for? The company has been very successful in improving the balance sheet. Maybe spend a little time of where it was, where it stands today. How quickly can the company fully delever?
I'll take that to start with. Look, I think as we mentioned on our earnings call, the focus really has been paying down the debt with Lind. I think we've done a really good job. We only have about $1.8 million left. That'll be paid off by May of next year. I think getting the debt behind us, it's just going to strengthen our balance sheet. I think our backlog has been strong, so I think with strong backlog, reducing our debt footprint, and really just maintaining our cost initiatives. I think if we don't diverge from the mantra of look at everything through the lens of profitability and cash flow, the business will be there, the profits will be there, and the cash flow will ultimately come. So I think the focus on putting the debt behind us, maintaining our OpEx and cash flow, it'll just be a matter of time until we get to where we need to be.
Yeah. Now I'll add in that I think we're seeing the results. This was a major investment to bring these disciplines through technology, our design engineering group, engineering programs, performance. The investment to bring these under one umbrella, I think we're seeing the results of that. We're paying down the debt that was required to actually make that happen. And we're positioned the way where we want to be, right? To grow at this point, so with that behind us. And we're seeing that happen now.
Anything else you want to add before we conclude the discussion?
No, thank you, Adam. I will just be open. There's only one way to do business in this industry, which is to be transparent. Our customers are really sharp, and we want to support them. I'm beyond excited for what we can do and for the honor of this role right now. And I will say that I do see GSE as a future state engineering services provider for nuclear power. We're lean. We have tentacles into every discipline of work that is required for our customers. So I always go to when there is a mod or an initiative to improve plant performance, extend the life, there are a number of derivatives that come out of that, and it is hard to calculate that total cost of ownership. And by us being positioned for the variety of disciplines to work on the mods, perform the programs, perform the test and inspection services, do the thermal performance analysis, provide the boots on the ground to actually make those changes happen. And oh, by the way, simulate all this, de-risk the projects, and then use that for simulation training, modifying procedures. This to me is a way to get a total cost of ownership. And again, drive down costs for our customers, reduce risk on the program, and have these engineering disciplines work together as they should. There's only efficiency and growth that comes from that story. And we're seeing it now. I'm super excited about seeing more of that in the future. And I think we're positioned to do it now.
Great. Thank you, Ravi and Emmett, very much so for your time today. We greatly appreciate it. If anyone out there has not already signed up for a one-on-one, again, please send me an email at lowensteiner@lythampartners.com or visit lythampartners.com/spring2024 and click the investor registration button. We hope we all enjoy the rest of the conference today, and thank you again.
Thank you.